Okay, let's do this. Alright, let's continue. Alright, so this is finger pointing. Pointing the finger. Okay. There have probably been times when we have ignored our own sins and problems and pointed a finger at someone else. We may be out of touch with our internal affairs because we are still blaming others for our moral choices. Or perhaps we avoid self-examination by making moral inventories of the people around us. When God asked Adam and Eve, this brings us back to the beginning, about their sin, they each pointed a finger at someone else. Right? Adam pointed the finger at Eve, and then tried pointing the finger at God for giving him Eve. Don't accuse God. Are you crazy? Goodness. You. And then Eve pointed the finger at the snake. We all got to be accountable for our actions. And this is what this step 4 leads to, of us being held accountable. Finger pointing. You did it. It's because of you. You know. So anyway, it seems to be human nature to blame others as our first line of defense. I can think of like so many times when I got caught with pills, or I got caught with whatever, and no, I'm sorry, the first time I got caught with cigarettes. My mom found them in my backpack, or maybe it was my brother. My brother found them in a sock, put them in a pot of water, and came and told me. I'm like, yeah, okay, those aren't mine. I was holding them for my friend. You know, that's our first instinct, is to lie. It was my first instinct to lie, and I was pointing the finger at someone else. Just a minute, Scotty. Okay. So, we also may avoid our own problems by evaluating and criticizing others. Jesus tells us, and why worry about the speck in your friend's eye when you can't even see past the log in your own? You hypocrite! First get rid of the log in your own eye, then you will see well enough to deal with the speck in your friend's eye. And that is Matthew 7, 3-5. While doing this step, we must constantly remember that this is a season of self-examination. We must guard against blaming and examining the lives of others. There will be a time in the future for helping others after we have taken responsibility for our own life. So, you know, I can think of so many people who got so worried telling me how to live my life. When, like this one person I could think of, for example, he called me the most biggest junkie. You know, he would say, oh, you know, you did this, you did that, blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking, yo, Look in the mirror. Really? I'm sure he could find excuses for himself why he did what he was doing. You know, people that would steal, he would go and make comments, oh, you go to church and then you go and steal. What? That's not my mentality. My heart is with God, but I have to feed my addiction. You know, that was my mentality. I had to feed my addiction. I didn't want to deal. I had to numb my pain. But this guy would walk into a grocery store and take in Spam, or, you know, just stupid things. And I'm like, you are such a freaking hypocrite. I'm like, oh my God, you're sitting there calling me the most biggest junkie when you have a problem too. But I don't have to deal with that person anymore because I don't go around those people. But those are just examples. I would finger point, and, you know, I would talk about being a hypocrite. So let's work on ourselves. You know, so many people find a project to work and do inventory of other people in their lives. Well, my sponsor told me, if you spot it, you got it. You know, if you are taking inventory of this person, oh my God, all they do is just nag, 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 nag. Or, oh my goodness, all they, you know, this person is just so angry, you know. Or, why does this person always get defensive after every single thing that is said? Or, you know, and she said, if you spot it, you got it. But I also say, if you notice things in other people, like for me, it wasn't so much I spotted it because I had it. Maybe with certain things, yes, I can, and don't know, can't really think of that right now, because I've always been on the positive side of things. I've always tried to make the best out of everything because of God. I've had a very exciting life. I will say that. I'm not going to say hard, because I was able to get through it. Yeah, it was hard. I ain't gonna lie. It was hard for a little while, but I adapted to it. It was more of an exciting, you know. People would steal because it's a thrill. It's a rush. You know, that adrenaline rush. Like my husband would say, you know, he got so, like, he hated it, but he loved it because it was such a rush. You know, why do we love that rush? We had that rush of things, but it was all bad things, you know. The devil was lying to us. Oh, you love this rush, you know, you gotta do this to get that. Bull. Because my God gives me the most best rush that no drug can ever replace. When you feel the rush, that the love and the joy that God will give you, I mean, it's just so amazing. I got this letter from my husband. Like I said, he's in prison. I got this letter, and it talks about how he was baptized in the Holy Spirit. And he said it was something he has never felt before. And he was like, it was like I was high. He was like, oh my gosh, and it's so funny because, you know, he's my soulmate, and it's only through God that is even possible. And so, as I'm reading this letter, I'm laughing so hard because I totally get it, you know. I totally understand what he is saying. Like, it's the best high. You know, the high that Jesus can give you. I mean, you may think I'm bluffing because you don't know. It's like, you know, when people that, you know, will use drugs, or, oh yeah, you know, that's the best, you know, you got to do it this way to get that effect. You know, oh, it's the best. No. And then it's like for someone that didn't do that, you're like, what? You didn't do that? You know, you haven't done that? Oh my God, what are you missing? That's where I am at now with you. Like, if you haven't felt the rush that you can get from Jesus, what are you missing? I was a drug addict for 15 years. 15 years. And there has not been any drug in this world that is better than the effect of the high I can get from Jesus, from God. It's the most happiest, the most joyfulest, the most exhilarating that no needle could ever do. No ecstasy could ever do. If you want to be, instead of taking a love pill, take what Jesus can give you, the love from God. You don't have to take a pill. This right here is it. Seeking God is it. So as you go to do these steps, you'll have a lot of emotions coming up, a lot of feelings coming up, and you'll have sorrow. And I'll be right back.